The blazing purple and blue flames, like two fiery swords capable of splitting the heavens, stood imposingly before the two of them. Such a powerful offensive. Xiao Yin and Little Yi were hiding behind an ancient tree, and as they focused on the figures of the two in front, the void beneath their feet suddenly warped. A viscous, overwhelming aura of reincarnation made their bodies feel heavier. Great Elder's formation, its power cannot be underestimated. Little Yi spoke up. This formation, it must be made up of hundreds of thousands of array patterns. Although it's not a battle array master's technique, but rather one cast using an array scroll, it's still incredibly formidable. Xiao Yan's gaze turned cold. Let's make a move. The two flames merged, creating a storming offensive like a thunderbolt soaring through the skies, bringing with it an unbeatable wave of terrifying force, directly crashing into the formation's edge. As the formation was provoked, strange and endless auras poured out. These energies seemed transparent and illusory, yet they spread over hundreds of meters, enveloping the Yao Ji statue and the Great Elder's position. However, the flames' attack, upon landing, caused no ripples at all. Instead, a buzzing sound emerged from the once transparent formation, and waves of gray energy suddenly spread out, like the desolate source that corroded everything. Wherever it passed, everything turned to dead gray. Even the two flames, fueled by the power of reincarnation, dimmed instantly, fading away without a trace. Crack! In the blink of an eye, the two flames were swallowed up by the gray, desolate source, vanishing without a trace. The vast void was now filled with waves of dead gray, desolate source, and the sound of rumbling echoed, shaking the heart. Suddenly, from the golden coffin, a black pillar of light condensed and shot out at an impossible speed, aiming to break through the formation and escape. Whoosh! The entire space beneath the nest, enveloped by the formation, erupted into fierce winds. Countless roars from ancient beasts reverberated within the cave. Power of desolation? Watching as their combined attack was devoured by the gray energy, the two spoke in unison, stepping back several meters from the formation's edge. Even upon seeing the mysterious black pillar vanquished by the formation, Xiao Yin felt his divine motion core inscription stir within him. The true desolation. It's an ancient divine beast, comparable to the three-headed divine flood dragon. A monstrous beast whose power has already reached the origin stage. How could it? Marlin, the second elder, watched the scene with disbelief, her eyes wide. As the second elder, she was fully aware of the terrifying power of this formation, but according to the clan's records, it had never displayed such a dreadful might before. This is the formation's power. It's no small thing. I believe the Great Elder must have intentionally added a trace of the ancient, desolate beast's essence when activating it. Now, the power of the formation is far stronger than before. Xiao Yin quickly sent a voice transmission, urging the two to be cautious and focus on defense. Could this be the formation left behind by the goddess Yao Ji, the ancient formation of the desolate source? Elder Yao did not attack rashly, but instead stared at the space below. On the wooden planks at the edge of the nest, the faint outlines of savage beast shadows were carved. It seemed that the area within 100 meters was filled with a rare, eerie, dead gray color. This strange dead gray caused an uncomfortable feeling in their hearts. However, with the formation's power, those evil auras could not fully escape. No, this formation was likely set up by the Great Elder to prevent evil creatures from recklessly leaving and harming our elven race. Regardless of friend or foe, if anyone attacks, it will stop them. But to resolve this threat completely, we must first crack the formation. The two shook their heads. At the moment, they had no other way and could only press on. Senior, the power of this formation cannot be broken by brute force. It's not like soul power. Let me give it a try. Just as the two were preparing to use their reincarnation power to suppress the formation, Xiao Yin stepped forward and joined them. A battle array master? But your array skill is only about 100,000 patterns. The ancient formation of the desolate source consists of 2 to 300,000 patterns. I'm afraid you won't be able to withstand it. Marlin, the second elder, was touched by Xiao Yan's bravery, but then worried that such an act might be rash, hesitating to speak. Don't worry, I trust this guy. You control the formation's breakdown, and we will help you with the remaining force, but remember, don't push yourself. The power of the array patterns is different from soul power. Once you break it, there will be no one who can save you. Moreover, the power of the ancient formation of the desolate source is desolation itself. If you get contaminated, it could be even harder for us to deal with. Elder Yao's expression grew serious as he spoke. At this time, there's no room for any jokes? All right. Xiao responded quickly, though inside, he felt a surge of joy. He had been worried about not having a formation of this level, and now, unexpectedly, he had encountered one. Vroom vroom. Xiao closed his eyes and gathered his focus. The divine motion core inscription within him, along with his Niwen palace, began to operate. An overwhelming mental force surged like a river, easily wrapping around the edge of the formation. Will it really work? To prevent the evil-minded creature from escaping, Second Elder Marlin and Elder Yao joined forces to reseal the nest before carefully watching Xiao. Let's do it. When the power of the formation reached its limit, Xiao eyes gleamed with rare fiery madness. He then controlled the energy and stepped into the range of the ancient formation of the desolate source. Whoosh! With the tilt of Xiao battle array master power, the entire nest's energy suddenly became calm, as if time and space had frozen. In the eerie stillness, everyone watched as the terrifying gray, desolate source slowly began to pour into Xiao body under his control. Is he absorbing the desolate source's power? Is he trying to get himself killed? At this moment, even Elder Yao, who usually remained calm, could not help but roar. Who? Just as expected, now the real show begins. Xiao opened his eyes, and the two elders could clearly sense an ancient, desolate aura spreading from Xiao body. The feeling was so intense that it made both of them experience an old, familiar sense of dread. At the same time, the trees, soil, and rocks inside the nest, which were once lush and thriving, began to decay and wither, turning a dull, dead gray. This kid really is something. The entire nest was filled with a desolate energy that made the atmosphere eerily still. After a moment, Second Elder Marlin looked at Xiao with evident joy. Cough, cough. Xiao opened his eyes. His body did indeed possess a significant amount of the desolate source's aura, but this energy was too ethereal to be used for cultivation. However, it was more than enough to temporarily control the formation. The ancient formation of the desolate source was terrifying, but when the Grand Elder used it, he did not inject any control formation stones. Instead, he added the primal force of desolation to seal this place, leaving ample opportunities for future generations. It seemed the Grand Elder had intentionally left a contingency plan for them. This formation, I can temporarily control it to assist you too. Elders, let's begin. Xiao gaze became serious as he looked at the center of the nest's formation, where the Grand Elder sat quietly in front of the golden coffin and the statue of goddess Yao Ji. All three of them were no ordinary beings. Among them, the statue of goddess Yao Ji was the largest, towering over 30 meters tall. Next to it was the golden coffin, corroded by black aura, emitting terrifying spiritual energy that moved the soul. Lastly, there was the Grand Elder, sitting quietly like a living corpse. Himph! Where did this little brat come from, trying to ruin my plans? A cold voice, accompanied by a thick black liquid, spread out from the cracks of the golden coffin. The suffocating evil energy spread instantly, causing the entire formation space to tremble with a strong, ominous vibration. The darkness was rapidly spreading, quickly engulfing the land. Desolate source. Sensing the surge of evil energy, Xiao increased the array's power, controlling the ancient formation of the desolate source. Waves of dull gray, desolate power spread out, mercilessly corroding the sticky black liquid. As it corroded, countless mournful wails rang out from the black energy, proving that even the incredibly powerful evil force was easily overwhelmed by the desolate source's power. It's been many years. It's time for a resolution. Second Elder Marlin's purple flames surged, and Elder Yao's blue flames burned brightly. The two of them stepped forward, releasing a terrifying aura that made the entire space hum. "Essus, you think you can resist me? Even the Grand Elder of your Fire Spirit clan can't stop me. How dare you two puny little ones dream of stopping me?" The cold, evil voice echoed again, and at the same time, a demonic shadow appeared atop the golden coffin. From the coffin, countless black gases seeped out, quickly converging into the demonic shadow. The dark aura spread at an alarming speed across the land. The demonic shadow was pitch black, its eyes glowing with red bloodlust. Its entire body radiated an extremely violent and vicious aura. A mere demonic shadow formed from evil thoughts. Elder Yao and Second Elder Marlin stood protectively in front of Xiao Yin and Little E, speaking coldly. "These two seem a bit different." The demonic shadow's eyes passed over the two powerful elven beings, then fixed on Xiao Yin and Little E. For some reason, there was an eerie aura emanating from them, as though their presence was perfectly suited to counter its power. At the same time, Xiao Yin and Little E felt the pressure intensify, their skin prickling with goosebumps. They struggled to suppress the sacred flame aura inside them, speaking in a low voice. Crack! The demonic shadow's evil power surged overwhelmingly, so terrifying that the two stone boxes were instantly crushed. The power of the elven seed infused into them, alleviating the pressure a little. Attack! Seeing this, Elder Marlin and Elder Yao's eyes flashed with a murderous and hateful intent. The brilliant flames and power of reincarnation spread from their bodies, instantly sealing the entire lair. With Xiao Yan's barely controlled ancient formation of the desolate source, the demonic shadow could no longer escape. "You two, elders of the Fire Spirit clan, haven't even reached the fourth reincarnation stage, yet you dare provoke me? Then let your lives become the foundation of my achievements." The demonic shadow howled to the sky. Its piercing and shrill sound seemed capable of piercing the soul. "Little E, prepare." Xiao Yin nodded, then pulled Little E to the edge of the lair's formation. A chilling aura appeared on his face, and his pupils transformed into brilliant amber flames, filled with an overwhelming soul power. Sacred Flame's Eye. Xiao Yin hid in the shadows, preparing. This strike, infused with the power of sacred flame and soul energy, could prove vital at the right moment. Crack! The dazzling sacred flame's eye spread from a distance, radiating directly at the demonic shadow's evil spirit. Along its path, countless fiery flames erupted. Crack! Though surprised, the demonic shadow extended its dark hand and slapped, easily extinguishing the sacred flame's eye. Buzz, buzz, buzz. With the sacred flame's eye extinguished, an amber-colored flame fiercely burned at the demonic shadow's wrist, causing its face to change. "This is?" The demonic shadow's face darkened as it stared closely at the amber flame, seemingly sensing a fearful aura emanating from it. Attack! Taking advantage of the demonic shadow's condition, the two elders exchanged a glance, and endless power of reincarnation spread out. "Two fools, you are merely sending yourselves to die." The demonic shadow laughed strangely, its black aura rising, extinguishing the amber flame. Its gaze shifted between the golden coffin and the two powerful elven clan members, as though waiting for something. Without further words, Elder Marlin and Elder Yao unleashed blue flames and purple flames simultaneously. The vast, ancient heat waves purified the black gas around the demonic shadow, creating a sense of ethereal energy. Trivial tricks. Evil Demon Claw. As the two powerful flames surged with sacred purification energy, the demonic shadow sneered, its eyes filled with brutal killing intent. It raised its hand toward the golden coffin below. A vast surge of demonic energy erupted, gathering above its head into a massive demonic claw, its power overwhelming. The demonic claw was covered in black markings, making it dizzying to look at. One could easily lose their focus and fall into it. Kill. The two colored flames intertwined in midair, transforming into the image of an elven bird, graceful and elegant, yet carrying a terrifying force. It pierced through the void and collided with the demonic claw. Boom! When the two attacks met, a scorching energy storm raged. Both the demonic shadow and the two elven clan elders were forced to retreat. At the same time, Xiao Yin, hidden in the background, quietly activated the ancient formation of the desolate source. An ancient creature, faintly visible, appeared above the lair, its colossal form radiating an ancient aura that blocked out the sky. It was the desolate beast, a legendary beast from ancient times. At its peak, its power could rival even beasts that had crossed 6 or 7 reincarnation stages. Gulp. What is that thing? Little E, noticing that the energy within Xiao Yin was rapidly depleting, followed his gaze and saw the massive desolate beast above the lair. Shoo, just a little more. Xiao Yin made a hushing gesture with his lips. The three of them were locked in an intense battle on the ground. With Xiao Yin and the formation's cover, the demonic shadow had yet to notice the desolate beast's arrival. Second brother, I'll help you. Little E immediately understood, and the reincarnation seal on her forehead flashed. Purple flames instantly poured into the desolate beast, strengthening its presence. The invisible pressure spread, as if a true ancient overlord had arrived. Once it struck, this space would likely shatter. This desolate beast had a highly irregular form, resembling neither a tiger nor a bull. Its body was enveloped in a layer of ashen energy, with a heart made of amber flame pulsing faintly at its core. Surrounding it was a layer of purple flame, making its presence even more terrifying. Marlin, this won't work. This guy's strength may only be at the normal 4th reincarnation stage, but even with both of our powers combined, we can't inflict any real harm. Elder Yao's overwhelming power surged out, resisting the terrifying attacks of the demonic shadow evil spirit again and again. He coldly snorted, saying, "Eye of gaze." Just as the two felt things were getting tricky, a booming voice echoed from below, followed by 2 strange objects that looked like beads. Inside the 2 beads was an extraordinarily terrifying force, the purification power of sacred flame and the immense soul power. As the grayish energy waves from the top of the lair spread out, the demonic shadow finally noticed this scene. Although surprised, the demonic shadow violently rolled its palm, and a faint golden demonic aura transformed into a thunder fox, directly piercing through the void, shooting straight towards the spirit of the wild beast. Thwack! The thunder fox of demonic aura darted out, but caused no significant turbulence. Immediately, the spirit of the wild beast stomped, and the entire lair's energy collapsed. Visible cracks appeared everywhere, and the thunder fox was instantly overwhelmed by this immense pressure. Damn! Miscalculated. Looking at the spirit of the wild beast, fear surged in the demonic shadow's mind. Your opponent is us. This time, you can't escape. Seeing Xiao Yin gaining the upper hand for the moment, Marlin and the others stepped forward. The aura of reincarnation began to burn around them, blocking the demonic shadow. Get out of my way. Looking at the spirit of the wild beast's ever-solidifying form, with its amber-colored heart beating faster, the demonic shadow finally dared not hold back any longer. Demonic spirit seal. The demonic shadow roared. Dark, crystalline shards resembling broken glass flew out from its body and easily gathered in its palm, forming a stunning crystal seal. Within the crystal demon seal, countless wails of agony could be heard, along with a faint brown flame flickering. However, the power of this brown flame was even stronger than that of any elven race expert. This is the power of the previous clan leader? How is this possible? Looking at the crystal demon seal, Marlin and the others felt a buzzing in their heads. Violet spirit shield. Fire spirit shield. Although they were surprised, a terrifying energy fluctuation swept out as they quickly summoned 2 ancient flame shields. Retreat. Protect Xiao Yin. After summoning 2 incredibly sturdy flame shields, the 4 of them immediately stepped into the lair's uppermost chamber, positioning themselves behind the spirit of the wild beast. Boom! The crystal demon seal was thrown by the demonic shadow, piercing through the void, distorting the air. The terrifying evil power mixed with the elven energy roared and rampaged through the elven nest. Crack! The 2 flame shields, though powerful, couldn't hold up for long and shattered completely. Xiao Yin, all hope rests on you. Seeing this, Elder Marlin and Elder Yao suddenly had an image of a natural elf appear before their chests. The reincarnation energy flowed like a spring, all converging into Xiao Yan's body. You really don't take me seriously? Prepare for total annihilation. The demonic shadow sneered and, controlling the crystal demon seal, shot toward the four. The seal's entire body was covered with dark patterns, resembling fireworks about to explode. Its power was limitless. Desolate. Xiao Yan continuously absorbed the reincarnation energy from the two, immediately channeling it into the spirit of the wild beast. Meanwhile, the formation around the lair flickered with grayish light, converging toward the spirit of the wild beast. Boom! The crystal demon seal exploded, sending earth-shattering waves of evil energy crashing through the lair. The formation protecting the nest trembled as if it might collapse at any moment. The distorted void and chaotic lair were in disarray, but the golden coffin, Yao Ji's statue, and the Grand Elder, sitting in meditation, remained untouched. Die! Ha ha ha, this is the consequence of offending my evil spirit body. Without caring about the lives of those at the top of the lair, the demonic shadow's senses returned, and the others' auras had already dimmed. They had clearly fallen into a desperate situation under the full force of his final blow. Isn't it a little too early to say that? Spirit of the wild beast, desolate and wild. A thunderous energy fluctuation spread out as a cold laugh echoed from the lair's top. At that moment, the entire ancient formation of the desolate source in the lair emitted strange mechanical sounds like gears turning. Simultaneously, a magnificent gray shadow, as if from the grim reaper itself, appeared, flashing with several strange flames. Although the flames' properties were completely different, anyone could clearly feel the overwhelming pressure emanating from them. How is this possible? You can actually control this formation? And what are these strange flames on this ethereal beast? At this moment, the demonic shadow's voice was filled with a long-forgotten fear. With the power of 6 types of sacred flames, combined with the residual essence of the wild beast source within this ancient formation of the desolate source, I will slay you here. Xiao Yan's voice was like the sound of an ancient bell. As soon as his words fell, the power within his body flickered and surged forth. Ancient flames, carrying their unique flame patterns, were stripped from Xiao Yan and Little Yi's bodies and immediately infused into the wild spirit. Temporary peak strength of the 3rd-tier reincarnation stage? 6 sacred flames? In an instant, the demonic shadow evil spirit gazed at the 2 exhausted elven race experts beside Xiao Yan. A wave of intense fury and fear quietly rose in its heart. Wild spirit. Sacred flame, sacred mark. Together with the master of this sacred flame, we shall eradicate the evil demon. Xiao Yan's face remained calm. His commanding voice rang like thunder from the heavens, while the flame mantra within his body reached its peak, layers of dazzling flames enveloping his form. However, Xiao Yan noticed that the flame mantra and sacred flame he unleashed this time felt completely different from before. After receiving the reincarnation powers from the 2 elders, Xiao Yan activated the 1st level of the flame mantra again and discovered many strange things. The numerous sacred flames within him, and the purple sacred flame from Little Yi's reincarnation seal, gathered in front of Xiao Yan uncontrollably. After being refined by the small flame cauldron, they were transformed into 6 mysterious and ancient fire symbols. These symbols surged out of his body rapidly and were immediately imprinted onto the wild spirit's body. The fire symbols, each with a different color, were as if they could burn and shatter the very heavens and earth. Their immense power was beyond words, inspiring awe and reverence. The 6 ancient fire emblems transformed into profound symbols, suddenly erupting from Xiao Yan's flame cauldron, then imprinted onto the wild spirit's body. At that moment, the wild spirit's form shimmered with 6 different glowing flames, an exquisite spectacle. This guy actually cultivated the sacred flame power to the highest level, the power of the sacred flame emblem, the sacred mark. To refine the sacred flame into a sacred mark like this requires at least the power of the reincarnation stage. Furthermore, in the entire Great Thousand Worlds, very few can reach this stage. This Xiao Yin, in the future, may very well become a Doshun. Second Elder Marlin and Elder Yao, barely able to keep their energy up, stared at Xiao Yin, their faces filled with utter shock. The elven race had records of a great power who had perfected the sacred flame and, together with the sacred flame mark within their body, reached for supremacy in the great thousand worlds. The most representative of them was the goddess Yao Ji. Though Yao Ji's power hadn't reached the pinnacle of the reincarnation stage, with her sacred mark and mysterious witchcraft, she was nearly at the peak of the reincarnation stage in the great thousand worlds. Wild spirit, sacred mark. Looking at the enormous being above, Xiao Yin sneered coldly. The flame mantra inside him surged as his palm moved. Waves of mighty energy poured into it, and as these actions fell, the wild spirit suddenly stirred. Endless desolation aura, along with the 6 fire symbols, intertwined across the cave sky, forming a dazzling and colorful flame sacred net. The flame sacred net contained not only the wild spirit's desolate aura, but also the power of the ancient symbols formed by the 6 sacred flames. As soon as it appeared, it immediately solidified the surrounding evil energy from the demonic shadow evil spirit, and the terrifying power evaporated the evil forces within the cave in an instant. Sacred mark. 6 paths? Although your strength exceeds my control, you cannot destroy me. With the help of the wild spirit next time, you will not be so lucky. Fall of the evil spirit. Looking at this terrifying attack, the demonic shadow evil spirit snorted coldly. Immediately, its body expanded and then violently contracted. Just as the wild spirit was about to crush it, it suddenly exploded. Its body, like a tidal wave, released sticky evil energy, resisting the wild spirit's overwhelming force. In the end, the nearly lifeless demonic shadow quickly sank into the golden coffin, and the cave fell silent again. Damn it, so close. Having done all that, Xiao Yan's body collapsed like a deflated balloon, falling from mid-air. However, his face was filled with a grim expression. The demonic shadow evil spirit just now was not the purest form of the extraterritorial evil clan. It was merely an evil creature formed by countless malevolent thoughts. Even with the ancient formation of the desolate source and the 6 paths sacred mark, Xiao Yin had failed to eliminate it, which left him deeply uneasy. At the same time, in the center of the cave, the elder who had been silently sitting since the beginning suddenly spat out a mouthful of black magic blood, and its aura returned to normal. Second brother, are you all right? Although the situation wasn't optimistic, Little E didn't have time to check on the elder and instead caught Xiao Yin in a hurry. Although Xiao Yin was weakened, it was merely a temporary exhaustion caused by forcibly activating the sacred inscription, and there was no major issue. Sensing that the Grand Elder had stirred, the 4 quickly landed in the nest and cautiously made their way toward its center. Without the presence of the demonic shadow or evil spirit, the ancient formation of the desolate source was under Xiao Yan's control. The nest was unusually quiet, and the 4 of them easily reached the center. Grand Elder. As soon as Second Elder Marlin arrived at the center of the nest, she spoke with a choked voice, gazing at the middle-aged woman with a pained and self-blaming expression. Heh, Marlin, Elder Yao, I truly owe you all a great debt this time, the Grand Elder said. After her words, the nest remained still for several minutes. Then, suddenly, the tranquil Grand Elder opened her eyes, rising slowly like an ancient being that had sat in meditation for countless years. Along with her movement came an overwhelming aura of reincarnation, which pressed down like a force of nature, causing the chaotic energy within the nest to instantly dissipate. Grand Elder, what's going on? Elder Yao quickly asked. It was known that ever since the incident, the fire spirits had not had a new clan leader, and even those in the higher echelons, like them, were unaware of the secret behind it. But how could it be that even the most powerful Grand Elder of the fire spirits had been entangled by an evil thought? Heh, it was my greed, the Grand Elder replied with a gentle smile. The reason our fire spirit clan cannot elect a new clan leader is because the clan's totem was sealed in the coffin of the previous leader. I came here long ago, not only to suppress this evil thought, but also to retrieve the totem from the previous leader's coffin. Unfortunately, I was outwitted by this evil thought. The Grand Elder's form was graceful and beautiful, appearing to be no older than 30 in human years. After all, for elves, even after a century or a millennium, there were certain secret arts that could preserve their youthful appearance. And these two? The Grand Elder's expression grew cautious as she looked at Xiao Yin and Little E, the two of them giving her a strange feeling. Grand Elder, this is the next elected king of our fire spirit clan, Second Elder Marlin said, introducing Xiao Yin. And this one, though human, is not to be underestimated. I was concerned for your safety, Grand Elder, so I took the risk of bringing them into the elven nest. Please forgive me. Marlin and Elder Yao quickly bowed and spoke, fear evident in their voices. The reincarnation seal of Goddess Yao Ji, the Grand Elder murmured. Such a one would make a decent king for our fire spirit clan, though his strength is a bit lacking. She turned her gaze to Little E, her eyes filled with approval. The Grand Elder's eyes narrowed. Wait, this little one has the scent of the sacred flame? When her beautiful eyes turned to Xiao Yin, a flicker of surprise crossed them. Amber flames seemed to split before her eyes into 5 distinct flames. 4 of them burned fiercely, while one was a bit dimmer. The Grand Elder stared intently at Xiao Yin, the 5 colored flames in her eyes sparkling with brilliance. Cough. Under the Grand Elder's intense gaze, Xiao Yin felt a chill run down his spine. Except for the flame mantra and the demonic power, all the other forces in his body fell silent, not daring to show any resistance. This Grand Elder is terrifying, Xiao Yin thought, his skin involuntarily tightening as he met her gaze. Just a glance, and I feel like she sees right through me. Let me see. Undying, Fireheart Heavenly Rock, Ghostface Soul Flame, and this dimmer one. It's not the full sacred flame, the Grand Elder murmured, taking a step closer to Xiao Yin with a gentle smile. The last one is the ethereal ice flame, half made of sacred flame's essence, she concluded, her voice calm. Seeing his newly formed sacred flame exposed by the Grand Elder, Xiao Yin was rather composed. He calmly replenished the last flame. Your cultivation method is the flame mantra, right? The Grand Elder's face showed a hint of joy as she softly asked. Why do you ask, Grand Elder? Xiao Yin inquired. Our situation is far from ideal. A trace of the desolate source has already been expended from the ancient formation, yet the evil thought has not been fully destroyed. Once it recuperates in the coffin, it will surely come back stronger. This is the real problem we face. Xiao Yin shook his head, his expression serious. Just answer me, yes or no, the Grand Elder said, ignoring Xiao Yin's concerns and smiling as though she had a plan. Yes, Xiao Yin replied, somewhat dazed, then kept his gaze fixed on her. It seems this is all fated. Hearing Xiao Yin's affirmative response, the Grand Elder turned around, and a terrifying aura swept out from his body. With a look of utmost devotion, he gazed at the statue of Goddess Yao Ji beside him. Grand Elder, what are you doing? Little E immediately became confused and puzzled. Do you know what desolation is? The Grand Elder's gaze remained fixed on the statue of Yao Ji. The power of reincarnation inside him began to stir, transforming into tiny sparks of light, which spread throughout the entire nest. He then asked, what is desolation? Desolation is an ancient divine beast. It is said that its power has long entered the supreme realm, one that could rival the current reincarnation levels of the 7th and 8th stages, Marlin replied. What about Goddess Yao Ji? The Grand Elder asked again, his tone filled with mysticism. Yao Ji is the progenitor of our elven race. At this moment, Little E stepped forward to answer. Yes, Goddess Yao Ji is indeed the progenitor of our elven race. But do you know why, after the first great war of heaven and earth, she and other mighty beings mysteriously vanished? Moreover, aren't you curious why, after uniting the Sea of Heaven, Goddess Yao Ji left on her own with 3 divine flood dragons to venture out? The Grand Elder spoke with a faint smile, but his expression betrayed a hint of intense passion. Grand Elder, our immediate priority isn't. Elder Yao, watching the Grand Elder's expression, couldn't help but furrow his brow. It seemed like something was wrong. Our immediate priority is not that, but with my current strength, I am no longer a match for the evil thoughts. The only hope for breaking this deadlock lies in the statue of Yao Ji. Or rather, it rests in this young friend named Xiao. At that moment, the Grand Elder no longer held back. His beautiful eyes flickered back and forth between Xiao and the statue of Yao Ji, while the power inside him was almost ready, seemingly pulling Xiao and the statue together. A very subtle connection appeared between the two. Don't look at me. I could have killed the evil thoughts back then, but out of greed, I wanted to reclaim the clan leader's token, only to be struck by the evil thoughts and permanently sealed here. Over time, the power inside me has shown signs of being eroded. Seeing the disbelief in their eyes, the Grand Elder raised his wrist, revealing a black, sinister mark on the back of his hand. It looked extremely terrifying. Senior, please stop with the riddles. What do you need me to do? At that moment, Xiao sighed heavily and asked, There are many legends about goddess Yao Ji in the Great Thousand Worlds. Some say she had entanglements with the lords of the Seven Realms, but those are all rumors. Goddess Yao Ji was extremely proud. According to fragmented information controlled by our fire spirits, the ones who interacted the most with Goddess Yao Ji were undoubtedly your Xiao clan and the Holy King. The Grand Elder spoke sharply. The Xiao clan? The taboo clan that has been missing from the Great Thousand Worlds for so long? As soon as the Grand Elder finished speaking, both Second Elder Marlin and Elder Yao exclaimed in surprise and turned to look at Xiao. You really are worthy of being the Grand Elder of the Fire Spirit clan. Seeing the Grand Elder's keen sense and terrifying strength, Xiao felt no further hesitation. I can't speak of the full details, as these are just my speculations. This elven nest in front of us has existed since Goddess Yao Ji first created it. The statue of Yao Ji was personally crafted by Goddess Yao Ji. But after years of exploration, I believe there is some secret within the statue of Yao Ji. That secret is our last hope to resolve this crisis. Unfortunately, after countless years of observation, I have not discovered what exactly is different about this statue of Yao Ji. The Grand Elder slowly shook his head at this point. Grand Elder, if you trust us, let us try. Xiao said as he embraced little E, and the two slowly approached the statue of Yao Ji. Grand Elder, is this really safe? After all, their enhancement powers have already disappeared. These two haven't even reached the reincarnation stages yet. Isn't this a bit too risky? Marlin and Elder Yao voiced their concerns. For Goddess Yao Ji was a pinnacle existence in reincarnation. Sending these two youngsters, was that not akin to sending them to their deaths? Trust them. Right now, we have no other choice. The Grand Elder finished speaking and quietly moved aside, watching the two. Xiao and little E stood solemnly in front of the statue of Yao Ji. A heavy feeling seemed to press down on them, as if tens of thousands of pounds of stone were bearing down on their bodies. Hair, mouth corners, heart, wrist, feet. None of these places seemed to have any issues. Xiao walked back and forth around the statue, inspecting it thoroughly, but found no difference. Little E, since your reincarnation is linked to Goddess Yao Ji, try activating your reincarnation seal. Xiao, feeling at a loss, could only speak to little E. Whoosh whoosh. Little E followed his instructions, purple flames burst forth, and the air around them instantly froze. A terrifying aura spread. At the same time, with the appearance of little Yi's reincarnation seal and the violet flame, the clan mark on Xiao forehead was finally fully illuminated. Poof! Simultaneously, the clan mark on Xiao forehead and little Yi's reincarnation seal both erupted with an extraordinarily dazzling aura. Drawn by some strange force, the two auras were instantly injected into the eyes of the Yao Ji statue. Boom! In that instant, the Yao Ji statue seemed to come to life. Its stone-like mouth gently opened, and a breath of violet energy was exhaled, causing all the power within the lair to quiet down. At the same time, Xiao and little Yi's figures were sucked into the statue's abdomen by an irresistible force. The place once again became quiet. Elder, this is bad. Marlin and Elder Yao exchanged a glance, only to find that Xiao and little Yi had vanished. Even if they wanted to stop them, it was of no use. Let them go. I hope this time they can uncover the secret of the Yao Ji statue and, at the same time, completely resolve the predicament of our fire spirit clan. After the elder finished speaking, he turned and walked toward the golden coffin on the other side.